Hey, something I get asked a lot about the Proslide XT is how does it perform on a hill? So I'm about to show you. Just, you know, what do they call that? Spoiler alert. We got a spoiler alert. It's gonna perform very similarly to any wheeled Velke, one wheel, two wheel, doesn't matter. If you can take a wheeled Velke on a hill, you can more than likely take the Proslide on the hill. They are essentially doing the same thing. They're just going about it in a different way. One's using a platform style, which adds a nice dark stripe and doesn't have the little skinny one or two wheel stripes in the middle of your stripes. But yeah, they're just, I mean, no matter how the Sulky's working, if you're standing on the Sulky, you're putting a lot of weight on the bottom rear of the mower. So obviously when you're going up a hill, you're gonna have more weight on the back, and it's called gravity. The front of the mower will want to lift up. Proslide recommends to put a weight kit on the front of your mower. You don't have to buy manufacturer built weight kit. You can literally use anything that weighs anything and put it out there towards the end of the casters on your front wheels, and that'll add enough weight to keep that mower deck down. And yeah, we personally never ever did that to any of our mowers, and we had some mowers with some pretty light front ends, but it was just never an issue. It was a non-issue. So this is not like the greatest slope, but I would estimate it's roughly a 30-degree angle, something like that. So I mean, you can certainly zero turn this hill, no doubt about it. But you can, obviously walk behind it too. Anything you can mow with a zero turn, you can mow with a walk behind, but that's not true in reverse. So the walk behind is the most versatile mower. If you're only going to get one commercial mower to start out with, I would highly recommend getting a walk behind to open the door up for you to be able to cut any kind of hill, getting smaller gates, stuff like this. And then as your lawns and customer base gets larger and you warrant a 60-inch plus zero-turn mower, yeah, it's going to be worth it. It's going to save you some time, but it's going to be a little limiting on hills and tight spots and stuff like this. So let's get into the Proslide demonstration, and hopefully it can clarify some of this. I'm just a huge believer in the Proslide and think it is 100% the way to go. I don't know what to say. Like I've used every type of Sulky, within reason. A one wheel, a two wheel, cage wheels. I've used them. Like there's no comparison in my opinion, and just about everyone who gets a Proslide loves it. A handful of people say it doesn't work for them, this and that. Your mower should be a hydro drive. That is a common issue when people want to return the Proslide, is they try to use it on a belt drive, and it just simply didn't have the harumph to carry that additional weight of the user. That you're going to run into that with a wheeled Velke as well. All right, before I do the demo, I wanted to show you a couple things about just how the Proslides hold up, stuff like that. So Billy actually drives this on the pavement. Like when he comes to a sidewalk, he stays on it. It really aggravates me. I think once he starts having to buy replacement plates, he will stop riding on the concrete. But it's obviously meant to ride on turf, and if you're just using it on turf, it'll last years. Seriously, literally years. The parts that get replaced on the Proslide are the gas shocks right here. There's another one in between this arm and this upper arm and lower arm, and then these torsion springs down here. There's one on each side. These arms will snap over time. They're just going to become brittle over time and snap. If you keep them greased with some lithium grease or something like that, it'll extend the life for sure. Any kind of gas shock is going to lose compression over time. But if you don't let your Proslide slap back against your mower when you get off of it and stuff like that, if you just take your foot and just raise it up nice and gently, then you're good to go, and it's going to last a really, really long time. Parts you do not need to replace is this actuator spring. If this falls off, who cares? Just let it fall off. It's fine. And then there's the gold bar that's normally in here. It's sitting in the truck. It does little to nothing. It is actually a safety feature for when you're going down a hill to keep the Proslide from wanting to go under the mower. The way I do that is I simply brace my waist against the the back of the mower, the operator controls right here, and keep my legs extended out straight, and it keeps the Proslide retracted back on the ground. So that's how we handle that. Okay, so first right here, just showing you going up a hill. This is a pretty decently steep hill. I mean, it's nothing super crazy, but obviously you can tell there's a nice slope here. It just went up it fine. It's going down it fine. I'm not even having to do my brace, my legs, hold it back. Remember, our safety feature is missing, which would hold it in there. This right here, I did not have to do this motion. I call it the skateboard kick up the hill, but I just wanted to demonstrate that if I am on a really steep hill trying to go up it and cut at the same time, I will do that with the Proslide. If I'm just going up the hill and not cutting, I'll just let the mower pop a wheelie in the front, and that's fine. So obviously I didn't have to do the skateboard kick motion because I just made the 2 passes on either side without doing it. But this is how the Proslide goes. I mean, it's just really slick, smooth, keeps you positioned right behind the controls. You're not getting turned like this as the sulky's rotating and stuff like that. That's something I really like. I'm tall. I weigh 210 pounds. I really like how with the Proslide my feet are at ground level. I'm not raised up because the wheel needs to spin and stuff like that, so I'm not hunched over to get back down to the controls. That's another thing I like about it. If you notice, like, there's just not a whole lot of I'm not bouncing up and down nearly as much as you do on a wheeled sulky of any kind. And the wheeled sulkies, they're gonna go in and out of a ton more holes because they got little wheels that are finding all those little holes as they hit them. But with this Proslide, you have the platform, which is spreading out, and like your PSI, the pounds per square inch going down, is getting spread out over that. There's less PSI for one, but for two, it's not dipping down in every single little hole in the turf. So me going up and down is not happening nearly as much as it does on a sulky with wheels, and this motion back and forth is not happening at all. And if you didn't know, this motion back and forth with your knees is eventually going to lead to a knee replacement. I worked with a lot of guys who are in the industry for a long time riding on wheeled sulkies, and they needed knee replacements. So just something to think about. But just the fact that it retracts out of your way when you step off it alone is like, I'm sold. Like I thought it was just so dangerous when I was running the walk behinds with the wheeled sulkies, and you needed to step off of it for whatever reason, and it's just dangling around your feet, and you're just like, okay, well, let's hope this thing doesn't jackknife, my rear wheels don't come off the ground. That's my drive wheels. I don't have any control of the mower. So I just think it's very dangerous. So this is way more safe in my opinion than any wheeled sulky. And like I said before, you don't have wheels to replace, you don't have bearings to replace, but in replacement of those, you do have the gas springs and the torsion springs, and then you will need to replace the wear plate if you're riding it on the concrete a lot. So here in a minute, we'll get to some better footage of me turning and stuff like that. But as you can see right here, going side to side on the hill, there's absolutely no issue. So I really hope the point of this is to clarify that it does perform just fine on hills. I'm sure sooner than later I will find a steeper hill to demonstrate on, but I just wanted to show that. So right there, that backwards turn right there, I know it's kind of out of the screen, but that can be somewhat of a difficult and or dangerous simple turn if you're trying to go down a hill like that. And honestly, turning kind of in reverse down a hill like that is often a good idea to keep your wheels from sliding and stuff like this. So that's that. You may notice as when I turn on the Proslide, I usually take one of my feet off of it. The reason I do this is because I'm very conscientious of tearing up the turf when I'm mowing, and by taking that foot off, I'm able to just more easily make sure I have one wheel moving forward, one wheel moving back, and I don't have one wheel fixed and just pivoting and tearing the turf. So that's what's going on when I step off. I necessarily don't have to step off. I believe I purposely made a couple turns in this video where I didn't step off. I was shooting solo today, so this is actually the drone just hovering there watching me, and I have my other cameras on the trailer gate, but I forgot all my tripods, so I couldn't even get it up high enough to really get good footage with that. But let's take a look at okay, real quick with the video frozen right here, I did just want to note that I am putting a little bit of forward pressure on these handlebars and kind of lifting up at the same time. So I'm kind of pushing forward and going like this. And I mean, it doesn't really look anything. My hands are still where they are, but I am going like this a little bit, as it's just gravity. The front of the mower is going to want to lift up. If you notice, you know, we have very little out towards the front caster wheel part of the mower, and everything is basically, you know, the majority of the weight is the engine centered above the wheels, the drive wheels in the back. So just naturally, any kind of mower that's built like this is going to want to pop up in the front. I mean, even zero turns do this. So I am combating the gravity, which is just a force of nature, with, you know, a little bit of muscle. Not much, nothing crazy. I don't think it's anything anybody couldn't do. Okay, so here I come from the other camera angle, and you'll see how there's no, you know, you're not impeded by able to get close to anything as you turn. I get right up on this curb, and this is, you know, typical with any sulky. It's just going to be, you know, right behind the mower at all times. But right there, you know, it was fine. I do my little step off, and that's just to save the turf. I don't have to step off there if I don't want to. I would recommend doing it, but you know, going across the hill, no problems, no issues at all. And we'll come back real quick, and then I also do a couple little demonstrations of stepping on, stepping off, stuff like that, which I'd like to show you in this video as well. So there you go. I don't even step all the way off. One foot's on. It's just to take a little bit of weight off of everything and make sure I don't tear the turf. So let's skip ahead here to where I do a little bit of demo right in front of this camera. Here I come from the right side of the screen, and we want to step off. You simply go like that. So if you notice, I kind of go slow, raising my foot up, and that just keeps the Proslide from slapping back against the machine. That's just going to prematurely wear out your springs, the gas shocks, and the torsion springs. And they're actually called gas springs, just to clarify that. But it's really that quick and easy, and you're back at it. It's completely out of your way. You don't need to worry about it hitting your shins or anything like that. It is a really, really cool design, and I think once you got used to it, you'd be like, wow, what was I doing on these? So there's a perfect example of me just walking behind the mower, taking those were actually a little longer strides than normal and stuff, just almost trying to hit it with my shins, but you're not. The only reason you would hit your shins on the Proslide is if it was if you had like a torsion spring broke or something like that. It's going to keep the wear plate and diamond plate and everything from retracting fully up. I do have videos on doing the repairs, and all of the repairs on this can be done in roughly 5 minutes, assuming you have, you know, decent tools and any kind of repair skills as far as, you know, taking screws out, putting them back in, and being able to look at how something's put together and just put it back together just as you took it apart. So that's it. I hope you like it. I'll try to find a steeper hill sooner than later and get another video. But that's it. We have the Pro Slides for sale on igoprolawnsupply.com. So if you would like one, we have the best price anywhere in the world. That's our thing. Okay, so until the next video, you already know, like and subscribe if you like the video. Please comment. If you have any questions, leave a comment. But more importantly, until the next video, keep making money.